Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Guided Way, March 21st, 2024. And if you selected the beauty card, this is a very interesting card because as you can see there's a rose. But a rose is not just a symbol of love, but it's a symbol of strength. And it's a symbol of protection because, if you cut a rose, you might get pricked by the thorns. So for this card, you're feeling loving, you're feeling charitable, but you see beauty you see beauty in places where most people just don't see it. And sometimes, you see beauty in things that other people might see as kind of dark or unpleasant, but you are able to see beauty within the beauty, or beauty behind, other people see as, may not be, the what they would feel or deem as appropriate. And to kind of help me further explain as to what's going on with you and your link to, or your connection to this card, I'm going to be using the Vampire Phantasmagorian deck by Ian Daniels again, just to Major Arcana. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ruffle them. And make sure that they're all face down. And then I'm going to bring them back together. And I just got to do a quick shuffle. And then I'm going to cut the deck. And then I'm going to draw the card that drops right there. And then another quick shuffle. And then cut the deck. Another card right there. And then another cut. And this is going to be kind of like the darker nature or the darker side of what you see as beauty. So I'm going to flip these over. And we have justice. So a very strong sense of justice. You believe what's right is right, what's fair is fair, and that justice isn't just for, the newspapers or just for you. It is for everybody. Because, like I said, the rose with the thorns being protective. So, definitely very protective. And in the second card, we have Judgment reversed. So, you feel just as ill and upset about injustices. You don't feel that, sometimes people get judged unfairly, or they get judged by how they look, or by what they do. You get upset when other people, make their own assumptions of them, and you will come to the aid. You are very strong, and you are very compassionate, and you feel very strongly about justice and about injustice, and that is your beauty. And we're going to go to the third card, and the Chariot. That is also reversed. So, even though you have a strong sense of justice and judgment, sometimes when you go to defend other people, you don't necessarily take the best course or the course of action that most people would use. You have a tendency to just respond instantaneously because you want to come to their aid. And some people find that to be off-putting, and they find you, sometimes you find yourself in a position where you're defending others where other people don't know why you're doing it. But that is your beauty. You will not let injustices slide or pass. You'll always stand up for who you feel is ever being wronged. And now we're going to go to the lighter side of this. In which case I'm going to be using the Ethereal Visions deck by Matt Hughes again. And since I'll be doing the same thing with the Major Arcana from that deck, just a quick shuffle, and then a cut. And that'll be that card right there. Another quick shuffle. And then a cut. And then another quick shuffle. And then another cut. And we'll go ahead and put these off to the side. And we'll go to the first card that was dropped. The Moon. So sometimes even your path isn't always clear to you, and there's always strange, mysterious things going on in the dark. But when you see the Moon card, regardless of whether it's upright or it's reversed, you need to trust your instincts and your intuition, because you're generally right, regardless of placement and regardless of the position, because you go with your gut and you stick with it, and you don't let the injustices pass, because you know the direction that you want to go in. And the second card, the Tower. Well, the Tower sometimes represents a changing of ideas or a changing of the system. So maybe you're somebody who is an activist, and maybe somebody who believes that the system needs to be better. And sometimes, a lot of times when people try to storm the castle, they falter and fall. But you will still keep charging, because it's not in you to just give up. And the next card, the Devil, reversed. Now this card suggests that maybe you've been tempted or persuaded to try and get you to stop what you're doing, and to try and get you on a different path. And maybe somebody's trying to bribe you, or maybe people try to persuade you, or maybe somebody that you've maybe even trusted has tried to get you to change your course, and you just flat out refuse to do that at all whatsoever. And that is not a bad thing, because there's nothing wrong with fighting for injustices. There's nothing wrong with coming to the aid of others when they need it. And the thing is, you're strong enough to do it. So let's kind of go into basically your sense of your visions. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick vision spread just to kind of top these cards off. And to do that, I'll use one of my favorite decks. Oh, there it is. Right here. And as always, my little buddy Orko is here to guide me. Or just take up space anyways. I'm going to shuffle these real quick. And I'm going to cut. And we're just going to kind of get an idea of your vision of what you are seeing, or what you're dealing with, or what you have ahead of you, or what challenges you may have to overcome, things of that nature. And the reason why I kind of call this the vision spread is because when I use this spread, I don't have a set placement for anything in particular in the spread. It kind of just tells me the story of what's going on. And it's not always a good story, but it's not always a bad story either. But when I get them putting the spread together, it looks kind of like an eye, which is why I call it the vision spread. But there are other spreads similar to this or like this, and other people may use it and they may call it something else. But because it resembles an eye to me, I like to use it as the vision, because when I use this, it helps me to be a little bit more intuitive, and helps me to concentrate a little bit better, and to see exactly how the story is unfolding. And I will always go from here, from the far left, all the way up, and work my way back down and around. But I will turn these so that you can see it better in the camera. So, yeah. me just get these back out there. Okay, so first card is the Page of Pentacles. So it looks like you've tried to start something and it didn't end very well, but it can also be, a point of intimidation, but also, maybe you started something that you just weren't quite ready for, or maybe you just didn't have enough knowledge for. But you've been practicing, and you are getting your passion is preceding you, because even though you have the skill, you have a tendency to be reckless. You just have a tendency to just charge in because you want the situation to be resolved quickly. And that's not a bad thing, because again, that comes back up to your judgment cards that you had earlier and the rose, because they're strong. And here we have the Queen of Swords. And she's a very strong, mindful person. She's very opinionated, but also very strong-willed. And the Queen of Swords is somebody who, can get her message across, and you're able to create a degree of order, and you like logical thinking, and you have good experiences, and you're getting there. You're definitely learning. But you also have, had a tendency to, get a little bit jaded. But your pursuit is still clear in your head. The King of Swords. Another strong, powerful card. And, when I see the King of Swords, their intelligence is at the very core of the persona. But sometimes I see him as being a little arrogant, and, he will get people to listen one way or another. But, I also see him as, just like I said, a little bit arrogant. Because, you're being able to create, successes for yourself. And, you sometimes get to a point where, your attitude is, if you just listen to my wisdom, just listen to me, a lot of other things could have been avoided. And again, that's your sense of justice, that's your sense of right and wrong. The Knight of Pentacles, reversed. So this is kind of saying that, we've gotten to a point to where, you may need to take a step back and just take a breather, because the Knight of Pentacles, normally when it sees is that you've had your battles, you've had your adventures, but the thing is that it's telling you to, maybe it's time to slow down a little bit. But with it being reversed, you're kind of feeling a little bit jaded, and so the other people may be perceiving you as just you not proceeding or resting on your laurels. And, I don't necessarily see somebody as resting on their laurels. I see somebody who's maybe learned from their experiences and their wisdom that they're trying to take a step back and gain better insight to the situation. The Nine of Wands. Which normally some people will say, and it's reversed, which some people will say, you've taken on too much, or you've met a failure, and you have not been able to get further from where you're at now. And I don't see that. Generally, I can also see that somebody has, you've taken on the good fight. You fight injustices constantly. And so sometimes maybe you need to find other like-minded individuals and maybe share that responsibility to ease your burden. Because this person looks like, almost ready to give into despair and just give up. But it can also be that, maybe you need to share the responsibility, and you need to find somebody that you can trust in order to be able to do that with. the Lovers, in which case, it is not reversed. And I am going to reaffirm as to what I said up here about, you, sharing the responsibility of finding others who are like-minded to share that burden with. Because when you see the Lovers, that is normally a card that, you have to make good and balanced decisions. And sometimes you need to find other like-minded individuals who wants to help, who believe in your cause, because your cause is their cause. So this may be people that you've helped before, and maybe they're grateful, and maybe you can get them to join you in your efforts. The Tower. Again, the Tower generally represents, some kind of tragedy or loss. So, but it's sometimes before you can build up again, sometimes something has to be destroyed. And this could also mean, sometimes you have to give up something that maybe you're not quite ready to give up. Or maybe you are. Because I definitely think that, you definitely are. Because you see beauty in justice, you see beauty in what's being done and being done right. The Three of Swords. Usually that's an indication of lies, deceit, betrayal. But because of this experience here, maybe you're experiencing some pushback because you feel that strongly about, the beauty and justice, because you are strong-willed, and other people are starting to fight back against you on that. And so I think that's actually a really good card. So at the end of all of this, the Ten of Cups. You are going to, at some point, you're going to find the balance that you need emotionally and intellectually. But this is a card of emotional growth and emotional abundance. But also, you're going to find yourself comfortable, but you're also going to be successful. And it's because, you're going to have some low points and you're going to have your struggles and your battles. But you're going to get there, and you're going to be able to bring the justice that you want to bring to other people, and you want other people around you to feel protected, and you want them to feel loved. And this is actually a very good read, and I think that this is your beauty, because you see injustices and you will fight for it tooth and nail. And when you don't give in to despair, and you don't just give up, and you can communicate yourself well, and take a step back from time to time to kind of regroup and see better assess the situation. And maybe as part of assessing the situation is that you need to take a step back and find other like-minded individuals to share that responsibility with. And it's going to cause some rethinking on your part and some pushback because of the Tower and the Three of Swords. But you're going to find yourself in a place where you are going to succeed. So that is the beauty card. So I hope you enjoyed the read, and I hope you'll hit like and hit subscribe. And thank you again for watching. Then again, say bye, Oracle. Bye, Oracle. Stay safe and be blessed.